Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the third video that I am doing over Un Dia de Noviembre by Leo Brouwer. And in this video we will cover the third section of the music, and that will complete the piece. As I said in the previous videos, I am playing from the Chester music publication. However, a good alternate reference is the Jesus Ortega version. The third section is quite a bit more challenging than the second section. It gets us up into higher positions with some awkward stretching and barring, but it's worth the effort. There is an error printed in the Chester music publication, and interestingly enough, in the Jesus Ortega version, that has been corrected. However, his version introduces a different error. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So the end of the previous section had us playing this chord and these harmonics and another measure of 3 harmonics. I want to give it some space. We're going to come up here and play that note, the high E at the 12th fret, and it should be very loud and powerful. Okay, that begins this measure. Now this is the hardest part of the piece, really. We're going to play that note, we're going to hold it down with the 4th finger, and we're going to keep that pressure on there. We're going to open the hand up and stretch the index finger down over the 7th fret and make a bar there. And we're going to be playing the 6th string under the bar. Once we get this bar down, the notes that follow are the 3rd string. The 3rd finger will reach over on the 2nd string and play the 10th fret. So we've got the pinky at 12, the bar at 7, 3rd finger at 10. Then the notes in the measure are 1st string, 6th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string. It's quite a strain on the hand if you play it that slow and have to hold it down for any length of time. But in real time, as we play into it, we can let go, and it's just a couple of seconds that we have to make that awkward stretch. The next measure, we can release the bar momentarily and hit the low E. We're going to shift our index finger over to the 5th string. We still have a bar here at 7, but now it's the 5th string, the 3rd string. We'll put our 3rd finger on the 2nd string and our 4th finger on the 1st string. The last note is the 3rd string note. So those two measures, the beginning of this third section, is quite a challenge to get all these notes out cleanly. Now in the next measure we can release the bar. It's a little bit easier. What's going on here is we have our 4th finger at the 9th fret on the 1st string. That's our C sharp, and we're playing that with the 5th string A in the bass. And the top notes here are C sharp, B, C sharp, and we're just going to do that 4th finger, 1st finger, 4th finger. So our hand's kind of scrunched up here. It's 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, but in between those, we're going to play this E on the 3rd string with the 3rd finger. So you can just leave the 3rd finger down. That way you can let the notes ring over each other. Okay. Next measure, we have the open A, 5th string, and open E, followed by a B. Then these two notes, it's a C sharp and a G sharp. We're going to play them on the 3rd string and the 4th string at the 6th fret. Both of them are at the 6th fret. So this is kind of cool because we get the A and the E and the B, and those can ring as we play these notes instead of playing them down here. We have the the E and the B again. So that's a very airy sounding measure. Okay. Also, I like to play the notes right there because the next measure we're going to have fingers 2, 3, and 4 at the 7th fret on the top 3 strings, and we have E in the bass. The little S, F, Z underneath is saying that these notes are louder than everything else right around it, so it's kind of bursts out just that one chord. Index finger's free. We're going to play this little E on the 2nd string while keeping these fingers down, so the 3rd finger lifted up there. So we're playing like that. You could play the open E. I think it's better this way because we're going to come right back on that B up here. But if you play the open E, it doesn't sound too bad. After doing that, we're going to take the index finger and put it on the 4th string at the 6th fret. Okay, and then 2nd string, 3rd string. So move it, the 1st finger, and put the 3rd finger back down for that. That's what that measure is. Next measure, we're going to play this E again. And when I go to play that E, I lift these other fingers up, but I keep the little finger on that C sharp because these fingers get rearranged here. Middle finger comes over to the 4th string, 6th fret. 3rd finger is now on the 3rd string, 7th fret. It was here, now it's here. And that's our chord. 2, 3, 1, 4. We play that chord, and then we're going to slide the pinky up to 12 real quick and take the index finger and put it on the 3rd string. That's an octave of E's. That's an E, that's an E. It comes from this chord to that octave of E's. We're now in the 9th position. We're going to have a 3-string bar with the index finger there, and we're going to play the 5th string A and these 3 notes. Now the way it's written, the little ornament is ahead of the beat. It's not played that way. It's not like we're going to come to this measure and go. The ornament is on the beat, so it follows right after. So you play the chord and take your 2nd finger and hammer down and pull off. It's an ascending, descending slur. Okay, that's the 10th fret pulling off to the 9th fret bar. The next notes are 2nd string, 12th fret with the 4th finger, back to the 1st string under the bar. So it's like that. Now we're going to stay in this 9th position. We're going to hit the 5th string A. We have this descending line here. So that's all on the 2nd string. 4th finger, pulling off to the 2nd finger, pulling off to the 1st finger. We're still holding this bar here though as we do that. Then the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, back to the 2nd string under the bar. And then the last note is the bar, 3rd string, that's our E. So those 2 measures. At this point, the next measure hits this high note again. It's forte. And the next several measures are exactly the same as what we just played. Exactly the same. Now, this measure, still barring at 9, is slightly different. We had just done, well, this one's written differently. The first note is on the beat with the bass. And then we have this 2, pull off, 3rd finger there. That's a triplet of 16th notes. And then the last 2 quarter notes, it's just the notes under the bar. So that one measure is different. Other than that, the previous several measures were exactly the same as what we just did. So that takes us down to the 5th position. We're going to have a 3 or 4 string bar here with the 4th finger up on the 8th fret of the 1st string. That's a C. Okay, we play that chord. The following notes are B, C, B, C. Same type of rhythm, short, long, short, long. Right here in the Jesus Ortega version, we play the chord, it's got the B, but then it has a low C. I'm sure this is an error. As opposed to, makes no sense. That's definitely a wrong note. This little single note run here is all right here under the bar. The second string and the third string notes are there, and then we just have to put the second finger down for the F to pull off to E. Third finger goes down for the D. The last two notes, second string, third string. So putting those two measures together. Moving on, we're going to keep this bar down and we're going to stretch the middle finger and the third finger out here because we're going to need the pinky. The third finger is up at the 8th fret on the 5th string and the middle finger is on the 7th fret of the 4th string. We let that ring and then the 4th finger will come in, tuck in on the 2nd string and play this 8th fret note, which is a G. In the Chester Music Edition, this measure is where the error is on this page. It has BA printed there, which is hard to do and it makes no sense. It's really supposed to be the G, which is on the 2nd string, 8th fret. And actually I've seen a few people play it with the B, but I guess they just didn't know it was wrong. Now we are moving down to, we're going to do a pull off from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret. Index fingers at the 3rd fret. Then this C note is on the 3rd string, back to the D, and we're going to play the C again. In the Jesus Ortega version, he put an E there instead of the D, and he has E to D to C to E to C. I'm sure that's not correct either. But play this last note with the 4th finger. Doesn't matter if you use the 3rd finger here, but we do want to end on that 4th finger, simply because this next chord in the next measure, we can slide the pinky up 2 frets. We get on the D there, and this chord, I have 3 fingers in the 7th fret. The pinky's already there, we slid up to it, right? The 3rd finger comes down on the 4th string, the middle finger comes down on the 6th string, all at the 7th fret. We're going to play the 6th, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 1st. That's our chord. Not playing the 2nd or 5th string there. Anytime I encounter a chord like this, it feels a little strange for this hand because we are skipping over some strings. The A finger is separated from the M finger with that empty string between them. Okay, that's our chord. We'll hold that, let it ring, and we just simply come back with the 2nd string B and the 4th string A. Okay. That measure ends with the B. The next measure is a G sharp. We were going back and forth from the B to the A. But the next measure is G sharp, so that's just 1 fret down. You can switch over to the 1st finger and play it with the low E string, followed by the high E harmonic. So that's how the 3rd section ends. Then there's a repeat and you can go all the way back up here and play it all over again. Ending 2 is exactly the same as ending 1, except that there's a fermata over the high E harmonic. Now the way the piece is arranged, there's an instruction here. All that's saying is go back to the beginning, 1st page, 1st section, and play straight through the page. You can forget the repeats, just play from the beginning until you see that symbol. That symbol you will see is at the end of the 2nd section, right at the beginning of that 1st ending measure. And that means when you see that symbol, you don't play anything else there, you just jump straight to this final measure at the end, which has the chord and the harmonic, and you let it ring. That completes this look at Un Dia de Noviembre. The other videos are out there. I'll have them up in the cards here if you want to review section 1 or section 2. I may follow this up with a 4th video. I think that would be a good idea, just to give you some embellishments that we can make to it, because some players out there do add a few things to make it a little more interesting, even though it is completely beautiful the way it's written. Thanks for joining me today, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos like this one. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Until then, I've been James Caldwell.